Hey everybody, this is going to be the first part of a several-part series on what you need to know about music. This is a basic introductory course for you to learn the basics of how music works. This music course has been proven to work on all ages of music students. This course is also designed for parents of music students who wish to have a better understanding of how the music system works to better help their children's music study. Just a note, there are several other systems used around the world. However, since I'm based in the United States, I will be focusing on the Western music notation system. Episode 1 is focused on beats, tempo, and note values. Hello, I'm Bradley Saunders, your music specialist and friendly music nerd. Join me as we explore the world of my favorite subject, music. The beat is the basic unit of time in music. The pulse. The beat makes you want to tap your foot and feel the pulse that drives you to get moving around. Sometimes giving you the urge to do much more, like head bobbing or dancing. Some people do things with their arms and legs even. Beat is the basis of rhythm. The speed or pace of the beat is called tempo. Tempo is measured in beats per minute. Beats per minute can be best heard using an instrument called a metronome. A metronome is one of the most essential tools in music and should be a mandatory tool for any serious music student. It allows us to hear beats at any tempo. Just for reference, the clock's second hand beats at 60 beats per minute. If you double the tempo, it would equal 120 beats per minute, which would make the beat twice as fast. This can help you figure out what the tempo of a given piece might be. 120 beats per minute also is the magical rock tempo that seems to be the easiest to dance to. Classical music tempo is usually notated using conventional Italian terms, such as lento, meaning slowly, andante, meaning walking pace, allegro, meaning fast, and presto, meaning very, very fast. Beats are commonly grouped in groups of 4. This helps musicians keep track of groove patterns and seems to also be the easiest beat combination to dance to as well. This group of 4 beats has been named common time because it is the most common of groupings. Since we are measuring out 4 beats per group, we can call each 4 beats a measure. Therefore, in each measure, we will have 4 beats. Let's imagine a beat being created by a big drum mallet hitting a big drum. At the end of the mallet is a huge ball of yarn. Now I'm going to take the picture of the drum mallet and use it to represent a beat. Since there are 4 beats per measure, I'm going to put 4 mallets right next to each other. This gives me 4 beats and gives me something to represent the whole measure visually. Now, I can't use mallets all the time when I'm writing down rhythms for use in the future, unless I simplify this picture here and switch it to a simple vertical line and a dark black oval. Now, I'm going to switch it up a little bit by moving this oval over to the side, and I have a note. Now, a little off topic. In math, particularly in the area of fractions, we learned that a whole shape can be divided into several equal pieces. For example, a large rectangle can be divided in half, but it can also be divided into quarters, eighths, sixteenths, 32nds, and so on. Music notation works the same way. In fact, they use the same terminology. There are 4 quarter notes in one measure. If there were only 2 notes in one measure, what do you think we would call this note? You got it! The half note. The half note looks very similar to the quarter note, except it has a hole right through the middle of it. It also gets twice the number of beats. The easiest way to know how long the half note is held for is to count out 2 beats. Only 2 half notes will fit in a common 4-beat measure. However, you may choose to combine these half notes with the earlier learned quarter notes. You can do half note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, half note, or my personal favorite, quarter note, half note, quarter note. Whole notes take up the whole measure. That means that in a common 4-beat measure, you could only use 1 whole note and it lasts for 4 beats of time. If you divide the beat in half, you will get an eighth of a measure. This is represented by a quarter note with a flag on the end of it. As the name eighth suggests, there are 8 eighth notes in one measure. To make it easier for musicians to read these eighth note rhythms, copyists have also integrated beams instead of flags, grouping them into groups of 2 or 4. To divide the measure further, flags are added to notate further division of the beat. A 16th note has 2 flags, and it takes 16 of them to fill in a common 4-beat measure. 32nd notes have 3 flags, and it takes 32 of them to fill in a common 4-beat measure. Committing to memory how many notes of each value are in each common 4-beat measure will help you learn how the time signature system works when we get to it later. There is 1 whole note, 2 half notes, 4 quarter notes, 8 eighth notes, and so on. A dot may be added to the right side of any note value, adding exactly half the value to that note. For example, if we have a half note, which gets 2 beats usually, and add a dot to the right side, we now have a note with a value worth 3 beats. A dotted quarter note is worth a beat and a half, and a dotted eighth note is worth just a little bit less than a beat. How does that work? A dotted whole note, which would contain a note value of 6 beats, cannot exist in a 4-bar measure unless you extend the grouping of the beats to something higher than 4, like 6. Alright, now we are going to combine everything we've learned in this lesson. We will do each pattern 3 times to make sure that you can get each rhythm correctly. First we have 4 quarter notes in a row. Pretty easy? Alright, here we go. First time. Second time. And the third time. Good. Next we have 2 half notes in a row. Still pretty easy, huh? Alright, here we go. First time. Second time. And the third time again. Awesome. Alright, next we have 8 eighth notes in a row. Still pretty easy? Alright, here we go. First time. Second time. Third time. Alright, we're getting it. Now we have 2 quarter notes and 4 eighth notes. Can we do this? Alright, here we go. First time. Second time. And third time. Yeah! So many possibilities we can do with these rhythms. Next is my all-time favorite. 2 quarter notes, 2 eighth notes, and another quarter note. Ready? Here we go. First time. Second time. And the third time. This is also called the cha-cha rhythm. We could spend the next week coming up with new rhythms. We're gonna have to just pick one for our last one. Since we haven't used any 16th notes yet, let's go ahead and do that now. Here's 1 quarter note, 2 eighth notes, 4 16th notes, and another quarter note. Too hard? Well, let's find out. First time. Second time. And the third time. See, those 16th notes aren't too bad. And that concludes episode 1 of Everything You Need to Know About Music. Thank you for taking the time to study with me today. You are well on your way to learning rhythms. Just a reminder, this is just an introductory course, and of course, you can learn more about each subject in more detail. There are countless YouTube videos as well as other material to help you master every concept in music. We are truly in the greatest era of study for the subject of music. I'm Bradley Saunders, and see you in part 2 where we will continue our study of music. Please take some time to digest this information. Take notes, and if you have any questions, please shout out and subscribe so you can find part 2 when it is released.